Hey everybody, welcome back to the Kit Cave. First of all, before we get into today's video, it's going to be a preview build, or a preview of two model kits that I'm currently working on. Just first of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to everybody that's liked my previous videos and also hit that subscribe button. It does mean a lot. It is appreciated, so a big shout out to everybody for that one. Also, I'd just like to give a bit of a shout out as well to everybody that was at the Telford Comic Con here in the UK yesterday, Saturday the 3rd of December, and today. I was there yesterday. Really great day out. Lots of good fans in cosplay costumes and lots of good stuff there, and the stars there. So anybody that was there over this weekend, Saturday 3rd and 4th, big shout out to everybody. So on this video then, two projects I've started working on. One of which we can see right at the front, staring at the box there. It was a kit that I got started working on just before lockdown happened, and then got myself sidetracked with learning 3D printing, 3D modelling, to do my life-size 1:1 scale articulated Grogu, which is now done and completed, of course, on the last videos that I've done. Very happy with that, taking pride of place in my living room. Before I get started on with the box kit itself, as I mentioned, there's two projects I'm currently working on. Now, I kind of shot myself a bit in the foot with it, because I've kind of taken it on board to work on them simultaneously. So one is this box kit. Of course, it's the Star Trek Next Generation, the USS Enterprise C. Now, this is the old AMT ERTL kit, released back in 1998. I'm not sure what scale this one is, to be fair. It doesn't actually mention it on the box, sadly. But before we get into looking at the progress made on this one, another project I'm working on is yet another 3D print build, another kit, and it's on the similar theme of the Grogu that I just recently completed. I'll just move this out of the way so you can see. Again, apologies for the camera work. I don't actually have a capture card to be able to film stuff that I'm doing online in Blender. I've got to be honest, even if I did have a capture card, I wouldn't know how to use it anyway. Ta-da! Because that's my level of expertise when it comes to technology. But you can see it here. Let me just move the camera for you. Again, apologies for the bad camera work, but this is what I'm working on. Now, this is going to be a 1/6 scale, fully posable, fully articulated rendition of a Star Trek The Next Generation character, and decided to start it off with a character that I felt really didn't get a lot of due attention that was given to that particular character. I don't know if you can spot who it is yet. We've got some reference images there, and it is Dr. Beverly Crusher. So this is the progress where I am at the moment. Now, I've been working on this for the last couple of weeks. Started off with a base mesh model, very low poly base mesh. Inserted some reference images of Gates McFadden, because I wanted to try and get this as accurate as possible, as we can see here. So I got it set up. Good old Gates McFadden. Pinterest, absolutely fantastic for finding reference images of characters. Got it scaled up for 1/6 scale. So once the figure is complete, it's going to be standing 12 inches. And I'm kind of looking at it on the basis of course, Hot Toys, they do fantastic 1/6 scale figures, certainly for the Star Wars ranges, and are really good models there. But I haven't seen a lot of companies doing the same thing for Star Trek characters. Oddly enough, maybe they're just not that popular. I don't know. But I still like Star Trek. It's okay. It wasn't that bad. Some good stuff. I haven't seen the new stuff on Paramount yet. But I'm getting there. But here we are. Stop rabbling, Steve. Get on with the video. So here she is, Gates McFadden. So as I said, I started off with a very low poly base mesh to begin this character, and over the last couple of weeks I've been building it up and sculpting to try and get an accurate portrayal of Gates herself, starting with the head, as we can see here. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with this progress so far. I'll just pan it around so we can see what's going on. And of course, with the images, look, I'm trying to match up as best I can the actual proportions of the face itself and get it in. But this is where we're at. So I'm really happy with this. A little bit more detail still left to come. I've got to start working on the detail for the ears. So again, I've pulled off some more reference images as best I can from Pinterest to try and get this as accurately as possible. We can see a little bit of the detailing there. Now, I'm not going for uber accuracy on this. I'm not going to be doing skin texture or anything like that. I just want a pretty decent facsimile of Gates McFadden herself, but yeah, it's looking pretty damn decent, if I do say so myself, for somebody who's a rank amateur at doing this kind of thing. No, I'm pretty chuffed with what I've done so far. Yeah, but there she is, Gates McFadden. Yeah, when it's printed and painted, it's going to look great. So I've still got the eyebrows here to sculpt in. A little bit of work there to do on that, you know, on the eyebrows. Not the eyebrows, sorry, the eyelids. But it's pretty much there. Now I'm not going to be sculpting in the hair. The hair's not going to be sculpted onto this because there is going to be an actual, you know, a wig fitted to this once it's been printed. But I have, just to help with some reference when I'm sculpting, I did just do some, you know, very basic hair, and it kind of puts it a little bit more into perspective. It's starting to look a little bit more now like Dr. Beverly Crusher. There she is. Again, I've kind of shot myself in the foot with this, not because I'm trying to do 2 projects at once simultaneously, but now I've done Beverly Crusher, of course, that means I'm going to have to do every other character in the next generation. So I think the next one after this is going to be Mr. Picard himself. Again, similar thing. It's going to be 1/6 scale, fully articulated. It's then going to have, you know, hand-sewn clothing, some little fun accessories put on there, a little tricorder here for Beverly, the medical tricorder, as an accessory to go with her. But yeah, looking really good. Very happy with that. So yeah, I'll carry on working with this on, and what I'll do with this build series now, this is the first video to showcase these 2 projects I'm working on, and as I progress through each one, I'll do separate videos to show the progress updates to them as we go. But there we are, Dr. Beverly Crusher in the works, 1/6 scale. So back to the box kit that I started on then, the AMT ERTL 1/6 scale. 1/6 scale, I do apologise because I'm talking about Dr. Beverly Crusher there. The AMT ERTL kit, the Star Trek Next Generation USS Enterprise C. As I said, I got started before lockdown, then got sidetracked with 3D printing. Where I got progress-wise during the just before lockdown, well, of course, this is the old kit, so lots of time spent drilling out all these windows. Hooray! What fun that was. It's a necessary evil with these kits, sadly. Let's be brutally honest, it is boring to do it, but it's got to be done so that we can light these kits. This is going to be fully lit because I do like to light my model kits. So I've got all the bits drilled, ready to go. So it's going to have the internal lighting here for all the windows in the back. Plus I am going to be doing the navigation and strobe lights on the nacelles and on the top of the dish here, for which I will be building the circuit boards to make the strobe and navigation lights flash at the different rates. I'll do a separate video on that, really just to show people how easy it is to build those boards. Now, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm no expert with electronics, and when I got into building these circuit boards many years ago, I'm a self-taught person. I just watch YouTube videos, you know, research stuff online, and it's just so easy to build these very simple electronic boards to make these lights flash at the different rates. So I'll do a separate video on that. And cheap, the parts to do it is just stupidly cheap. You could put this board together for literally less than £3. Really cheap and really effective as well. You know, so I'll do a separate video on that. So progress where I am at then. So as I said before lockdown, all the windows were all drilled out and all the bits. A couple of weeks ago then I did all the light blocking, so inside it's all been light blocked and sprayed over with white. It's all been primed on the outside here, top of the saucer bit, same with the bottom, all been primed ready, all the windows all drilled out, ready to go. I've done the same for the again, same for the main body. It's all primed, all windows drilled out, all bits inserted, ready to go. That's kind of where I am at this stage, ready to start inserting the lighting. Now, I'm a particular modeler. I like to install all the lighting first, put the kit together, then do all the masking and painting. I know some people prefer to do it the other way. They like to, you know, do all the painting and all the bits first, then put it together, then work on the seams. I don't particularly like that. That's not my method. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's whatever works for you, isn't it? It's whatever works for you. I will just pan the camera across to show you my bit of a messy workbench. And again, bear with me for the trying to hold the camera and do things at the same time. But I'm trying a bit of an experiment with this kit. Something I've never tried before. Now, I'm not very aware of anybody else having tried this before. If you have, fair play to you. I've got to be honest, I've only thought of it recently. So bye-bye Gates, we'll see you in a bit later, darling. Over to the bench. And it's something that I'm doing here with the warp nacelle pylons. Now, of course, with these kits, these parts here are very, very thin. Very, very thin. And so the trick is to use very thin magnet wire, you know, which I've got rolls of it up on the shelf, as every modeler probably does. You can see there I've started to drill out a trench to fit that thin wiring through. And again, it's one of those necessary evils with these kits, because these are so thin parts. Trying to get wiring in, it can be a bit of a pain. So you have to use very thin wires. You have to get your Dremel tool and a grinding bit and drill out channels to run the wires in, so that these parts will then eventually fit together nice and flat. Can be a bit of a nightmare sometimes, you know, and it's a very fine line of how far do you go, how far until you've gone right through the plastic, or you make a mistake, and it's a real pain sometimes. But I was thinking about it, you know, surely there's got to be another way around this, rather than having to do all this drilling out of channels, trying to, you know, get really thin wire and having all that nightmare with it. And then I thought on the idea, well, hang on a minute, why don't we just use copper tape? You know, self-adhesive copper tape. It's conductive, you know, it's flat. Lay it in and run your wires off of that. And that's kind of what I've experimented now. About a week ago, I got on eBay a roll of self-adhesive copper back tape. Here it is. That cost £3 on eBay. It's a 25 metre long roll by a 5 millimetre diameter roll. £3. What I did with that was I pulled off a length, chopped it off, but then I split it down, so I cut it right down the middle to turn that 5 millimetre diameter down into a 2.5 millimetre diameter bit of tape. So I just pop up in the top here, and as you can see probably what's going on now, and that's what I did, and I kind of laid it in like this. Was careful, of course, not to make sure that the tape is touching, because it is conductive, so there is gaps in between. Now there are 4 lines running here on each side. So 2 of these lines are going to be the plus and negative supply for power to go to the warp nacelle light. So that's going to be the blue lighting and the red lighting. The other 2 are going to be powering the navigation light that's going up in the top of the nacelle, which is in this bit right here, in that little hole. And that's been drilled out, ready for a bit of fibre optics to be inserted in there. I will be laying in, actually, the blue LED tape is going to be laying in the top bracket here, with then the navigation light just there, and then it can all be connected to this. You can probably see I've got some wires, and this is kind of what I was doing this afternoon. I've got some wires already run and connected in. Now this stuff, being copper, it will take, if I flip it over, it will take solder. So you can kind of, it's almost like you're creating a little bespoke circuit board inside the model kit, and you can see it's just there. Okay, it doesn't look pretty, but it's going to be hidden. Soldered the joints on. These joints are then they've been super glued in place. That CA glue you're seeing, that's not me melting the actual plastic itself, but it's tacked, ready to go. I've got this wired up, and let me see if I can do this one-handed while I hold the camera. I'm connected up to my power supply. Make sure they're out the way. Switch my power supply on. Here's a bit of LED tape I've already got prepared, wired up. If I can do this one-handed and just touch the 2 terminals together and try and get this on camera as best I can. And it's not going to work. Yes, it is. There it is. It's very tricky doing this one. I really do need to find a decent camera rig. On the camera, if anybody knows of a good, decent camera rig, please let me know in the comments section, because I really need to get one. Come on. No. Very tricky. I did have this going earlier. There we are. There we go. If I can just do it again. There we are. Very hard to see it on camera. It's getting washed out by the overhead light here in my kit cave, but there we go. Blue LEDs are coming on. You can see it lighting up. There we are. There we are. So it's running power through. It's taking the power, soldered in place. It's being a bit temperamental because I'm trying to hold it, but that will stay on constantly, nice and flat. There we go. So it just proves the experiment will actually work. So all I need to do then, do that again, so there we go. Sorry for this very poor low quality video, everybody. I do apologize. There we are. So they're on constant, you know. I don't know if you can make it up. These blue LEDs generally tend to get washed out on camera a little bit, but you can see it, you know, kind of flashing there as I try to hold it in place with the contact terminal. So it works. It works, which is really, really good. I'm happy with that. And of course you can then, once it's all done, that goes on. It's nice and flat, no interference. Again, putting the top on is not going to cut the power out because it's only plastic. There's nothing. There you go. And it's working again where it was before I move my hand. Okay, I'm going to stop this edit now because it's getting because I just can't hold it. Anyway, you get the idea. So it's a little experiment I thought I'd try to get around this problem of these very thin parts. There we are. And it's on again. And off again, on again, off again. Okay, stop that. So, little experiment I thought I'd try, and it seems to be working. So I'm going to carry on with that. Now, of course, I've left a lot of length up here ready for the installation of the nacelles themselves. So they will fit, of course. They'll slot in. I've already cut the grooves out in the base part. They'll fit on. You know, I'll feed these through like this. What's then going to happen? Of course, I will shorten these wires. Once this is attached on here, I'll then cut the strip down, lay it down flat, tack it down. I probably will put a little bit of Gorilla tape just behind each of those terminals, just to protect the plastic a little bit for when it's taking the solder, so the heat doesn't affect the plastic in any way. And then I can just run the wires round the top end, down the back here, where I've inserted a little cap piece, because I'm going to have a red LED inserted into there. You can see I've light blocked that. I'll light block the same as well there when I insert the front piece. Get it all sealed up, all tacked down, all glued in, so that the wires aren't going to pop off, the connections aren't going to pop off, either with CA glue or a bit of hot glue, or maybe even a bit of resin in there. Jobs are good. Jobs are good. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that I tried that experiment out, and I think I'm probably going to use this method going forward for any other model kits, or the kits that I've got up on the shelf. Any other thin bits like this, why not? Why not use the same? I mean, it could even be later on. Why even do wire such as this? Nice and simple. Don't get me wrong. You've got plenty of it running around. Certainly, you know, inside the hull like this, plenty of space in there to run some wires. Certainly down the bottom as they go. You know, you can run it down here and tack it into place. That's not a problem. But again, the sky's the limit with this stuff. You know, copper adhesive, copper conductive tape. Lay it in like a circuit board. I suppose you could even do it in the top of the actual top of the, you know, in the top of the dish. You can kind of run it round. You know, put your lights in, run a copper tape, and then just a tiny little bit of wire to tack it all together. I mean, you don't even need to use wire. I was watching a video on YouTube, and some guy, I can't remember his name, so sorry fella, if you're watching this video, I can't remember your name, but he was just laying copper tape down in a circuit board fashion like this, and just using the copper tape to connect the terminals together. Bang, electricity right through it. There was no actual, you know, cord wire like this at all. There was no solder. He was literally just using the tape alone. There we go. I think it's a little bit flimsy for this purpose for that, but again, why not try it as a bit of an experiment? So there we go. It's a little tip for everybody. If you want to try this method out for yourself, go for it. Go for it. As I said, I'm not aware of anybody that's tried this yet from all the other videos on YouTube that I've watched of all the other model builders out there. And guys, you know, big shout out to all of you. You're all doing fantastic work, and I love watching your videos. And it's always good to watch what other people are doing and how they get around certain situations, and picking up little tips and tricks. And hopefully this might be another one for somebody. You can see there, look, I began to cut the channel out, but I was just thinking, you know, there's just got to be an easier way of doing it. And I think I might have actually found it. My God, I might have actually had a light bulb moment for once in my life. Cha-ching! There we go. So there we are. That's where I am progress-wise. So what's left to do on this then is to carry on, get this bit all put together. I'm going to get all the plastic bits, put the nacelles on, get them in, sort these, cut these tapes to size, start getting the LED strips in the top here for the blue lighting. Into the top of the nacelles, lay in a little SMD here, which is then going to be having a bit of fibre optics put through that hole there for that lighting. Get these all sealed up, sort out the clear plastic pieces, and yeah, it's really just a case of at this stage start installing all the lighting for each of the components, and then I can start putting this together and then start working on the actual paint job itself. And the good thing with this particular model, I've heard some people that have built this in the past say it's a bit boring as a paint job, a bit laborious, but it's a nice and simple one. You know, it's a nice and simple paint job to be done on it. I've already sourced my Tamiya paints, the colours to experiment with, and that's where we are. That's where we are progress-wise on this one. So I'll be back with an update on this one. As I said, I'll now start to do separate progress updates for this kit, the AMT ERTL USS Enterprise C. So each bit I'll do a separate video for that one, and also I'll carry on working on good old Gates McFadden here for this 1/6 scale, fully 3D printed, fully articulated model of Dr. Beverly Crusher. And she's going to have her Star Trek uniform on once I get this model kit done and created and finished and all painted up. Yeah, look, I'm very happy with this. I'm happy with how I started from a very simple base mesh using the reference images there, and getting it to this point to get a you know, a pretty decent likeness. I'm not going to say it's perfect again. I'll never say it's perfect, but it's and I'm not going for uber perfection. I'm just going for a good facsimile, a good likeness. If you can look at that and straight away identify who that is, oh look, it's Gates McFadden as Dr. Beverly Crusher, then it's job done. Job done. There we are. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Again, big shout out for all of those that have hit the like button on previous videos and the subscribe button as well. It does mean a lot. I do appreciate it. I'm not going to be one of those guys every video to ask people to hit the like or the subscribe button. Hey, look, at the end of the day, it's your choice. But it is very much appreciated for those that do it. So yeah, I'll be back soon. I've got some time, good bit of time off over the festive period, so I can really knuckle down and start to get some good progress done with these two projects, and be back online with more update videos just as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great week. And if I don't say it a little bit later, I will say it now. Have a fantastic festive Christmas period. And yeah, I'll be back very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.